going to call the personnel meeting to order. Motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Motion by Supervisor McDevitt, second by Supervisor Frazier. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nobody here from SUNY. We really didn't have anything on the agenda from SUNY Adirondack. Human Resource Director would like to discuss the tracking of vacancies. Won't you, Jackie?
Entertain any questions.
There's a list. You've all had the list. It's kind of small, and I can't read it, so.
Even I can't read it.
I didn't get one of those.
You send it landscape, and we have to flip it around and make it nice. Try.
Okay, the next one we need to spend a little time on is the Reallocation Committee met. We had numerous requests by the union, and we carved it down to what we think is a reasonable request, and we've met with the union and gone over what we would present to the Personnel Committee, and I'll ask Jackie to just go over it and answer any questions of this committee of the reallocations.
Sure. We reviewed as a committee 23.
Can you step to the mic? Thanks.
Sure. As a committee, we reviewed 23 titles, most of which were brought forth by CSEA. You can see on item 2B of your agenda, you did designate which ones were brought forth either by the department, CSEA, or both. Those 23 titles included 89 employees. The committee met and reviewed the requests and determined that for 13 of the titles, no change was justified or needed at this time, and for 10 titles, we did agree on an increase of 1 or 2 grades, which impacts 18 employees, most of which are in buildings and grounds. There was one from building code enforcement,
and there was a couple in traffic, the
in
traffic ones that was missed last year. The percent of the increase in grades didn't match up, and that was kind of an oversight on our departments. We had a request from DPW to change that. But a lot of the buildings and grounds are titles that affect building maintenance workers, and some of it's more specific to electrician and that, and those were raised up a grade or two. Any questions on the reallocation? Yes?
This reallocation isn't just a result of basically coming to an agreement on what those hourly rates should be?
Yes, with the department head and our discussion with the unions, that's how we came to that. And one thing I stress to the union, that they are very fortunate that Warren County has this built into the contract. Most places you wouldn't see this, and so we have a lot of back and forth on this. They usually bring in a host of requests, and then we end up turning them down. But I think it's a good process. I think these adjustments are fair. But I did remind them, that they need to go back to the employees and please stress that they're very fortunate if we get this passed today. Any questions? Mr. Thomas.
Is the 37.5, is that the total cost?
So, yeah, annual. That's the annual increase.
And it is in the multi-year projection.
And this doesn't take effect until 2019?
2019. Yes. Yes. You making a motion, Matt?
Please.
Supervisor Soko, second by Supervisor Simpson. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Referrals from Health Services. The request to create a position and fill a new position of Deputy Commissioner, annual salary $78,500 to $82,500, and delete the position of Deputy Commissioner, Chief Legal Counsel, annual salary of $84,408, effective August 20th. Thoroughly vetted by the committee. There's discussion on that. Do motion. Motion by Supervisor Simpson.
We'll move, sorry.
A second by Supervisor Bramer. Have a discussion.
For
3A and 3B go together.
Okay.
Pointing out the prior deputy commissioner / legal counsel's job in the two positions.
Okay, so will you change your motion, Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Bramer. Any discussion? Yes, Supervisor.
Question,
Diamond.
on the annual base salary for this new position, it's, you're requesting an $82,500 salary? Is that what I'm reading here?
Yes,
And the
it's a
existing...
reduction from the old,
From the old position? And what was the old position?
84,408.
84? Okay, and that individual, though, was doing attorney work, also deputy commissioner, correct?
yes, it was a hybrid position that was created at the time. We've always had a deputy commissioner, but they didn't do the legal work in the past. So we're going back to
I guess my question would be is, how do we arrive at $82,000 for the position?
It's request of the department head and looking at what we'd had paid in the past, I believe. We do a salary study on those. I can't answer all of that, but it's what the committee felt was appropriate.
No, it was presented in front of the committee, but I was wondering if there was a salary, what do you call it, study.
I'm trying to think back to when we just had a
I remember when
deputy
we went through the
commissioner.
committee.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
What's the history of the salary for an independent position that just dealt with the deputy commissioner's position where they didn't assume, or not assume, but serve two roles in the process as a deputy commissioner and going to court as an attorney? I was just wondering how we
I
arrived at the
wasn't
number.
involved in this. I wasn't part
Okay.
of those discussions, so I don't know, and I don't remember. I wasn't here when there was anything, but I don't remember what the salary was.
Supervisor Simpson?
I don't remember what the salary was, but I remember there was an issue where we were using county attorney resources over at DSS, and we were trying to save dollars by doing that.
Okay. Thanks.
Supervisor Elliott?
Yeah, I'd be more comfortable before we assign a price to this new position to see how that compares with other deputy or like responsibilities throughout the county to make sure that we're in line. We have some department heads that are not quite up to that wage yet, and as a deputy in social services, I'm just...
Right now, we have a motion and a second. Any other further discussion? Let's vote on the motions the two motions on the floor. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? One opposed. Two opposed.
Craig Kaminsky.
Okay.
If I could, the bottom line impact to the county, $7,500 when you factor in the state aid and the federal aid.
That was the impact.
That's $7,500 out of county's pocket for that deputy commissioner position.
General fund, yes. For both positions in total, compared to the combined position. When you do the calculation, the difference between what we used to spend with the combined position and what we will spend with the two positions, the one full-time and the one part-time, and you factor in the reimbursements, the impact on us is $7,500.
Thank you for that.
Next, item 4 is a request for, I've asked for a request to attend the county leaders meeting at the White House on August 23rd. I'm going to ask, I've talked over with Ryan. We were sent out to all of you, and I asked if I could attend this conference on the 23rd of August. Right?
If it's the will of the committee to approve it, I will approve it.
Well, I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Mayor Diamond. Discussion. Go ahead.
What's it going to cost?
I think the ticket would be $543, I think. Round trip.
Are you traveling down on your own?
No, it's going to travel on the county.
We're looking for a total cost.
Was it 543? I don't know what it was.
Hotel.
So that's the total cost,
Well, it's not like we're sending 10 of us, we're sending one.
Well,
I want to go.
I was actually gonna speak to Amanda.
Linda, you want to go?
No.
$536 total,
Okay.
total cost. Yes.
How many people can go like this?
You want to go, Chief?
It says here that, I don't know. I saw this come through on an email and I requested we go.
We all got one, yeah.
Yeah, I read it. Well, now that I know Kevin's going, I'm thinking maybe I'll go.
Yes,
In all
Supervisor.
seriousness, I was gonna talk to Amanda about it this morning. I was trying to work it out of my schedule, and I was interested, and I wasn't sure what our process was for that.
Well, we have to get a resolution because it's out-of-state travel.
Oh, that's right.
Is it too late for me to be considered for this resolution also?
It's not too late for me.
No, I'm just asking, it wasn't on.
What is your budget,
the
Amanda?
agenda,
Do
but
you
the
know?
deadline was until the 17th, and I was gonna speak to Amanda.
Do you know what the budget is for travel? Yeah.
Travel, I couldn't tell you how much we have left in it, but, I mean,
Let me get,
that would have to come out.
you want to defer on this? I'll get Joanne to
All
get
right.
that information. Okay.
Enough go again, but.
That was actually my question. You do have a bunch of people that want to go. Where is this money coming out of?
There is an out-of-state, we have a budget for travel. I just went to the clerk of the board and said, how do we go about this? And this is how we go about it. I saw it,
Somebody wants to go.
usually don't go to these things, so I thought I would go representing Warren County.
Do us
Go
proud.
with you.
Well, I'll do you proud, all right.
Oh, I
Doug, you don't want to go? To Washington?
$543 total cost, flight, food, overnight, everything?
Overnight, 536.
536?
That's a room and the flight's down and back.
So you go down one day and come back the next, right?
Yeah, I tried to do it on the same day, but it would have been like, I probably would have got back 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and wait 7 hours for a flight.
Yeah,
Sound like back.
That's fairly easy.
Not at my age, I can't do that, guys.
Especially if you fly out of Dallas, they shut down, it's at 10, isn't it?
I guess it's Reagan, is it Reagan or DCA? I don't
Look at that
know.
book.
One of them shuts down at 10 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah.
Go on train, go.
Oh.
They just gave me this one.
Okay.
It's not simple. No, it's very expensive to fly in fall.
I don't have to go, but I'm just
Well,
requesting.
do us.
I think you should
Let's
go.
find out who else wants to go, and how much money you
Well,
got.
how did she say money was?
Anyone else want to go?
We could probably take a couple within the travel budget. What do you have left? Is there anybody else would like to go?
Well, if Matt wants to go, then.
That's what I was gonna talk to Amanda about this morning.
Better get your thing in, man.
Let's do the two.
We have to amend it to allow Matt and I to travel to Washington to represent the county, if that's the will of the committee. We had a motion and we have a second, you'd have to amend the motion.
I'll amend it.
We have an amendment, who seconded it? Who did? Mr. Diamond?
I did. The question, though, is what are we going to do with the other supervisors that may be interested?
Well, they didn't speak up yet.
Gene, did you have an interest?
I did, but I'm trying to work it out, but I don't think it's possible.
Okay, I have no.
We need an answer quickly,
Well, it
because
says
we gotta go
17th,
get
though.
vetted out.
Yeah, it's 17th then.
Pardon me?
Anybody else?
Yeah, but we have to have a resolution
I'll go
or
on mine.
something.
I don't want the county money.
We have a motion and a second. Are you amending your motion,
County money.
Supervisor?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm okay.
Anybody else wish to go? All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I have to recuse
I
myself.
have
I
to.
should. Yeah. Okay, are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay, if anybody comes back, we can schedule another meeting.
I just have one question. So, is she gonna make that reservation for that price for the two of us? Or do I have to?
No, but she's gonna
Okay.
amend it. We don't have,
Yeah.
we're authorizing our travel.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is what she get found so far, if it holds.
I've been before.
Pending items. Committee members to present, okay, ethics. Mary, where are we on the ethics?
I've heard from everybody that the committee has asked me to reach out to, and the only person that is interested is Diana Palmer.
Okay.
I also wanted to mention, by law, I have to represent the ethics board unless the board appoints someone else to represent the ethics board. I think it might be worth thinking about maybe keeping an attorney on retainer to represent the ethics board if issues ever come in front of them, if we really want to make this an autonomous body. Just because I think it puts me in a bad situation to have to represent the ethics board if there's complaints against supervisors. So it's just food for thought for the committee.
Okay, right now, do we have to appoint Ms. Palmer? No, Ms. Palmer will join the ethics board. Anybody else has any?
Well, if you want to change the makeup of the board, you have to do a resolution. I'm sorry. But you don't have to change the ethics board if you don't want to.
I just want to know, is she on the board now?
She's not unless you pass a resolution.
Oh, so I'm asking. Motion by Supervisor Bramer, second by
Hold on.
Supervisor Leggett.
And what would her position be on the board?
Yeah, so you're going to have to talk about how you want to restructure the board.
Do we want to restructure the board?
Right. If you want to appoint her, you're going to have to talk about how you would do that. Currently, right now,
I thought people left.
Right.
Go ahead.
yeah, so Edna Wells and Gail Simmons are the two governmental members. Edna Wells is no longer on the town board in Chester. Okay. So you have to have 2 governmental members. You also have to have 3 non-governmental members. As of right now, Chris Scoville is the alternate for the non-governmental members. He has moved. He's no longer in the area. So my suggestion would be to move Edna from the governmental member up to the non-governmental member to take Chris Scoville's position. And then that would be fully filled. And then for your governmental, you'll have Gail Simmons and Diana Palmer. And you can decide if you want to make Gail the alternate or take her off, or make Diana the alternate, or make her the permanent member.
I would make the motion to have Diana be the permanent member.
Yes, and I'll second that motion in light of what's going on.
And I'll third it, yeah.
So we have a motion and a second to appoint Diana, is it, Palmer?
Yeah.
As a government.
Councilwoman Palmer.
Okay, Councilwoman Palmer as a government. Any discussion? Doug, you had your hand up?
I was just, you guys have already answered that. I didn't know if she was going to be permanent official, government official on this, or
Okay.
you guys answered.
Do you want to remove Gail? Do you want to remove Gail or keep her as the alternate?
Let's just do this first. All those in favor?
Aye.
If we're going to talk about a member of the board, I'd like to go into
that's
executive
fine.
session if we want to talk about somebody else.
Do you want to make the decision on Edna?
Yes, I would move Edna as a somebody want to make a motion? Supervisor Leggett, Supervisor Frazier to move Edna Wells as a non-government official. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So now we have a full board except...
You just need an alternate. For that.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about that. Is there anything else to come in front of higher education? Yes, there is. We need a letter of credit from Glens Falls or to Glens Falls National Bank for the health insurance, and Mike is going to talk to this. This wasn't on our agenda, this came late.
Sorry that this didn't make the agenda. It was kind of an oversight on our part, but basically because we are now self-funded on our health insurance, and Blue Shield, I'm sorry, is not our insurer, but they are our administrator. So they're basically paying the bills and then we reimburse them. What they want is a letter of credit from Glens Falls National Bank in the amount of $221,500, so that if we never pay their bill after 2 times, then they have the authority to go to the bank and get that $221,500. This is a normal type operation, and the only way it would ever kick in is if we didn't pay for 2 months. And we do. So it's basically they need it for their accounting system.
It's a letter of credit.
Letter of credit.
Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make it. I
Motion. Supervisor Bramer, second by Supervisor Molino. Discussion. Questions. Go ahead.
Thank you. What if we only owe them like $50,000? Do they go to the bank and get just the $50,000?
No, they would
No.
be restricted in the letter that they can take only as much. But our normal monthly is around that figure, so that's where that came up from.
Okay. We have a motion, a second. Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. I would request the executive session to discuss a member of the Ethics Committee, if that would be appropriate. Motion by Supervisor Simpson. Do we have a second? Second by Supervisor Frazier. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, thank
Opposed,
you.
carried. This will go quick.
Buddy.
Okay, I need we discussed personnel. I need a motion to take action on removing Gail Simmons from the Ethics Board. So do I have a motion? Motion by Supervisor Framer, second by Supervisor Medega. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Okay, now we move right on to finance, correct? Oh, we have to close it. Motion to adjourn by Supervisor Merlino, second by Supervisor Simpson. Thank you. Thank you all.